Far from the beginning and closer to the end, that's the story of our special show, which we began a few months ago to talk about the 25 incidents that shaped the destiny of Indian cricket. And far from the beginning and closer to the end is also the story of one of this generation's greatest batters, Virat Kohli. By any standards, this has been one long special career. And while with Virat there's every possibility that he might still pull out something incredible from his bag, there is one period, one phase from his career which looks untouchable for any cricketer. And in today's episode, on number 9 on this countdown, we will talk about that phase of Virat Kohli's career where, to borrow from Gen Z's lingo, Virat activated God mode. So how good was Virat Kohli from 2016 to 2018? Let us look at that and everything else in some detail. From his debut in 2008 to 2015, a year in which he became India's Test captain, Virat Kohli had firmly established himself as one of the finest batters of his generation. He averaged 50 in the ODIs, 44 in the other two formats at that point. The labels of run machine and chase master had already stuck. And yet, as it happens so often to the best out there, questions were flung at him and his abilities. While his 50-over game was as close to complete as possible, in T20s and tests, people wanted to see what Virat could do more. Till this point, Virat was getting runs in the shortest format with his style, quick running between the wickets, lots of fours. But considering how quickly the game was changing, there was a thought, could Virat add another dimension to his batting? Could he hit more sixes? And when it came to Test cricket, by this point, he had only one score in excess of 150 to show against his name. Now, there were no questions about his technique. His 11 Test centuries had shown he was quite solid. But could he bat longer, bigger knocks? Could he emulate the likes of Gavaskar, Tendulkar, Dravid to dig in and score mountains of runs, even Sehwag from the town he comes from? Well, Virat didn't waste any time to answer those questions. 2016, which he began with a couple of one-day international centuries against Australia, became the year of Virat. After playing some unbelievable knocks in the T20 World Cup at home, remember that innings against Australia at Mohali? Virat batted like a man possessed for Bangalore in the Indian Premier League. 4 centuries and a whopping 973 runs wasn't something that many thought was possible in the IPL until Virat not only made it possible, but just did it. He really ascended to a different plane in 2016. You put him in any situation, he'd come out roaring. But most importantly, he belted 38 sixes in 16 matches to emerge as the tournament's highest six scorer that season. It hasn't happened too often that an Indian has held that record in the league. It tells you how radically Virat changed his game to achieve the results with the bat that he did in IPL 2016. I know 8 years isn't a very long time, but the incredible performances from Shubman Gill and Joss Buttler in recent years have shown how well you can bat and yet not reach Kohli's tally of 973 runs in the IPL. So that was the first half of the year, where Virat solidified his credentials as a white ball great. The second half, though, brought the red ball challenge. India were to play the West Indies away, then host New Zealand and England that year. What could Captain Kohli do? Could he quickly shift gears to adapt to the needs of batting long hours? The answer came in the form of his first double hundred in the very first innings against the West Indies, a score of 200. As if to tell those asking, look, this is what you wanted, this is what I've delivered. And having notched up his first double hundred in 5 years of playing tests, he added yet another after just 5 tests, this one coming against New Zealand at home. But in hindsight, both of these efforts were dwarfed by what he dished out to England in the winter of the year. Remember, just a couple of years earlier, in 2014, England had managed to silence Virat's bat by exposing a batting weakness of his. Kohli even later admitted that the lean phase in England affected him at a mental level. And so when England came visiting 2 years later, out came the mentality monster in his full glory. 655 runs in 8 innings, including his third double hundred of the year. All those, anybody with the slightest doubt about his ability to play long knocks, were now comparing him with the greatest of batters. How could you not after a year like that? But Kohli soon showed that it wasn't just a matter of the alignment of stars, because 2017 began with another special from Virat the chase master. Set to chase 351 and reeling at 63 for 4 against England, India once again looked up to Virat, now the captain of the ODI side. And Virat once again delivered with a century to lead India to a 3-wicket win, the first of his 6 in that year. And by the time the year 2017 ended, even his tally of double centuries in Test cricket had doubled. Oh, by the way, if Virat's ODI average of 76 in 2017 was incredible, he took it to stratospheric heights next year. 14 ODIs, 1,200 runs, 6 centuries, a godly average of 133. I know those are just too many numbers to take in there, but trust me, it's still not enough to present the true story of the purplest of patches that Virat enjoyed. And mind you, the enormity of these numbers hits harder when you realize that this was Virat, the all-format captain. Sometimes the burden of leadership can cast a shadow on even great batters, but not Virat, who averaged 54 in Tests and a mind-boggling 72 in ODIs as captain. You could see that he loved leading from the front. He just seemed to elevate his game to the next level in every format. And but for that inexplicable switch off versus Australia in 2017, he dominated series after series, a key reason why India proved to be such a formidable force in all formats in those years. There was a sense of inevitability when he came into bat. And I remember saying at that time something along the lines of, if you connected Virat Kohli to an energy grid, you would never have a power cut. Now, as he approaches maybe the last chapter of his cricketing career, a glimpse of peak Virat before he leaves the stage would put smiles, wouldn't it, on a lot of faces. A Virat question then to end the episode. Virat Kohli won the Sir Garfield Sobers Trophy awarded by the ICC twice, in 2017 and 2018. He was only the second cricketer to win it in consecutive years. Who was the first? So thanks for watching and do subscribe to this channel.